Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, it looks like the Carnival Vista had broken down again, and then we have some Royal Caribbean passengers upset, this time not at the possibility of losing Sorrento's as a free dining venue, but because an itinerary was completely changed, and I do not blame the cruise line at all for having to make this change. But I do blame them for the first thing they did. At least, though, they did correct it. So a couple of days ago, on the way back to Galveston, Texas, we had the Carnival Vista just stop. It just stopped in the middle of the ocean, and an announcement went out to passengers saying that they're having some technical issues with the propulsion issue with the engines, and it's going to take about 30 to 40 minutes to repair the ship. Meanwhile, the ship became dead in the water and just stayed in the ocean. Luckily, things were still seemed to be running. The air conditioning was still going, things like that. However, that 30 minutes turned into a 3-hour delay at sea sitting out there, which of course then caused them to be delayed getting back to the cruise port in Galveston. Now, normally they would pull in between 6 and around 7 o'clock. You would be able to get off the ship 7 a.m. in the morning, which means if you had a flight around noon, you had plenty of time, 5 hours to get to the airport, no problem. However, the ship did not pull in and dock until around 10 a.m. in the morning, which caused a lot of people headaches with flights. Now, if you booked once again through the cruise line, they were already in the process of rearranging your flights once they knew this was going to happen if you had an earlier flight. However, if you booked it on your own, like I do a lot of the times as well, because I get certain points and perks with my airline because of my status. So I often have to book on my own to get some of those status points and bonuses. Well, you're basically out of luck and were left to your own device to rearrange all your flights. So again, hopefully a lot of people are cluing in and taking some good advice, and that is to make sure you book an afternoon flight. Never book an early morning flight, even if it's convenient and it looks, oh, I'll get home early, I'll get home in time for dinner. Too many things can go wrong, like the ship just stops in the middle of the ocean for some minor repairs and needs to get going. Now, this isn't the first time the Vista seems to have been plagued with a lot of propulsion and engine issues. Remember, that was the ship that you saw back in 2019 that actually had to bring in the floating repair dock. And it was the first time I've ever seen that used for a large cruise ship like that getting repaired. It made headlines across the world that this ship had to get repaired that way and not into a dry dock area. Well, again, in 2022, the ship propulsion issue had issues again. It was forced to miss some ports until repairs got made, and now it has more repairs. Now, luckily, it's going in for repairs and dry dock, I believe, in January. So hopefully one of the things on their itinerary to get fixed is to double check the engines and the propulsion issues. Because even the Panorama, a sister ship, it also has had some repair issues for its propulsion systems. It's almost like the engine part, not the ship, the engine part kind of has a little bit of a lemon in it. Which happens, right? When you buy a car, everybody raves about a car, and you buy a car and everyone's been raving about, but you get the one that's not great. Well, there you go. Again, advice always. Book a later afternoon flight. It's inconvenient, it takes longer, but you're not going to miss your flight if something happens and you're delayed getting off the ship. Number 2, we had Royal Caribbean guests were ready to set sail directly on the Ovation of the Seas right after Alaska. The Alaska season, the Ovation of the Seas is there right now, and then on October 6th, it was going to go on a 9-day Hawaiian cruise. Well, with everything that's going on in Hawaii, one of the stops was Lahaina, which of course the cruise port burned, and it's been devastated by the wildfires. Hawaii in itself has been devastated by the wildfires, and of course they can't go there now. So they had to make some quick changes, Royal Caribbean, and they said we won't be getting off there. Instead, now we will be stopping in Victoria, BC, because the ship leaves from Vancouver, and we will also stop in Seattle, and the actual only stop in Hawaii would be Honolulu for disembarkation. So I don't know about you, but I don't know if that would be considered an actual Hawaiian cruise if I'm just going to Hawaii. That's like a shuttle to me, more than a Hawaiian cruise. Well, they announced this to passengers. While people are really sympathetic, absolutely, we understand what's going on there, especially with that cruise port. Why couldn't we go to another cruise port in Hawaii? Why are we going to Victoria, which, by the way, the cruise ship might have already gone to on the Alaska cruise, because it's sailing from Vancouver anyway, or Seattle. These are regular. This is a Pacific Coast cruise more than a Hawaiian cruise now. Well, the reasoning behind it is the Ovation of the Seas is quite a large ship. Not a lot of large ships visit Hawaii. They're all in the mid-size range, but it is one of the larger ones and only can have a few docks that will actually be able to accommodate a ship of that size. And now with the wildfires going on, every cruise line that's visiting Hawaii is tinkering and rescheduling what's going on with their schedules, because obviously one cruise port you can't go to anymore. So everyone's looking for more berths. Everyone's looking to avoid the wildfires. Everyone's trying to reschedule their ships as best they can, so spots are filling up really quickly, and unfortunately for them, Ovation of the Seas only has 2. One of them actually it would be blocked by an Ironman competition going on in the city around the cruise port that very day that they would be able to get into that cruise port. So they're not going to be able to do it, so that's why they chose Seattle and Victoria. However, when they first announced this to passengers, there was no option to cancel your cruise. Now, this cruise takes place within the 60 to 31 day limit on Royal Caribbean, which means if you were to cancel your cruise right now, you would lose 75% of the money that you've paid because it's past final payment date. And they gave no option to rebook on a different cruise, another Hawaiian cruise later on or next year, or take future cruise credits, or just get a refund. They made no offer whatsoever, but the outcry from passengers saying, hey, this isn't what we signed up for. I didn't sign up to go to Canada and Seattle on my Hawaiian cruise, and for you to dump me off in Hawaii just in time to fly back on an expensive flight home. And so Royal Caribbean has now said that you can cancel the cruise if you wish with no penalty, which is good news for those people. But in the email that they say that, they also exhort the benefits and the beauty of going to Victoria, BC and Seattle and experiencing the ship on sea days, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. I love transatlantics for that reason. You get to stay on the ship. You don't have to rush around. There's no rush to get off the ship in the morning for shore excursions. You can relax. It's a very relaxing cruise, and you get to explore the ship. However, when I'm signing up to go to a particular destination, that's the destination I want to go to. It'd be like saying, hey, I signed up to go to Greece, and we end up going to Norway. Well, Norway is completely different. It can be beautiful, it can be great, but I signed up for Greece. And if you change the complete itinerary, you have to offer me the chance to get my refund. Well, they didn't at first, but congratulations, Royal Caribbean did eventually come out and say they will now offer refunds and no penalty for the closeness, that within the 31 to 60 day penalty, no 75% charge. Glad they did that. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.